Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike. Well, I guess I'll talk first this morning since Steven is not with us. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. Usually Steven is doing this intro, but he's taking a little bit of break, and I'm bringing in our friend from Three Geeky Dads, Mr. Brien Robopod Ramsey.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello. Good morning, everybody.
Brien?
I'm doing fine, Mike. Thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome.
I'm getting ready for camping next week. I can't
All
wait
right.
for that. Taking the R-Pod out again.
Nice.
Nice name. You.
I try to come up with a nickname for each one I'm on with you guys.
You're so clever. I'm not near as clever as you are. But I get that cleverness from listening to all your shows. You guys do a great job. I've been really trying to catch up with you guys. I've been so behind. Right now your shows are a blur, so I can't think of which one I want to mention.
Yeah. Well, you were saying you were back in March. I can't even remember that far back. And I was on the show, so.
Well, you guys did one on Shining, and I'm a huge Shining fan, so I was a little shocked to hear some of you guys' reactions.
I know. I guess it didn't age as well for us. I remember it being scarier as a kid, and now rewatching it just seemed a little slow.
Wow.
And yeah.
Well, I get the
slowness. There was still some really great and iconic moments in that movie, but on the whole,
I mean, it's Jack Nicholson, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You get the here's Johnny.
Absolutely.
I love that moment. That is a moment.
Wendy, light of my life, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your effing brains in.
Such a great line. That scene, that's an interesting scene. And I don't know if you guys talked about that because from what I've heard about that scene, Stanley Kubrick actually just terrorized Shelley Duvall.
Oh yeah, no, that's no secret. Yeah, and we did touch on that. He made her time on that movie a living hell.
Right. So
Absolutely.
So the reactions that she got, I mean, you guys talk about her swinging the bat, which was but her reactions were very genuine in that she was actually scared out of her wits.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. When I look at it in those ideas, those themes and stuff, and I think it's still a good movie. But then again,
it's still a good movie, but not my favorite Kubrick movie and not my favorite horror movie. So I mean, it falls. Right. I think we said it falls in the middle of the pack.
Have you ever read the book?
Yeah, I did actually.
Oh, the book is amazing.
The book was amazing. I agree.
But when I read the book, I see Jack Nicholson.
Oh yeah, you can't now. I mean, he owns the role.
Oh, definitely.
He absolutely does.
All right. Well, let's jump into a little bit of geeky news. All right. So for geeky news, I really only have one thing today.
I was like Steven really liked that little soundbite there. It's very very 80s. I heard you guys talking about it last week or the week before, and it does bring me back.
Well, when we started doing the geeky news, I was like, I got to find something, and I was like, we're very 80s centric. So
of course
I wanted to feel like 80s news, 80s newsreel and stuff. So that's what I came up with.
No GNUs is good GNUs.
With
Gary GNU.
I actually had two originally, but I decided I was going to forego the other one because basically the other one was Dave Filoni's new Star Wars movie is going to be Heir to the Empire, and I think we really kind of covered that.
Yeah. You guys did a whole thing on Heir to the Empire,
right? So I figured, that's not really news. The other thing, which you guys even posted this, and I shared it. Let's see if I can share my screen now. Bang. Okay. So according to CNBC, Disney World's costly Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser to close in late September. This comes as no surprise to me, though.
I had no idea how expensive it was until I started reading the article about why they're closing it. I mean,
oh my gosh. I looked into it a little bit.
It's a 2-day event that you got to book into because it's a whole story that goes along with it. It's really immersive from what I understand. And
I mean, the idea is incredible. It really is.
$100 a person a night.
Yep.
Right? Isn't it per night? Or
yes.
Is it just for the 2 nights?
No, it's per night.
That's per night. And it's a 2-night thing. So I mean, that's $2,400 for a weekend, basically. You know, and if you're a family of 4, forget it. I mean, that normally if you spend that, like that would be like a week in the park at a lesser not a lesser, because I like most of Disney's hotels, but a less expensive hotel.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, when we go, we always stay at the Dixie Landings, or what is it, Port Orleans now. They've changed it.
We stayed at
We've only ever stayed at Pop Century.
Yeah, Pop Century's.
Yeah.
We stayed at the, what do they call it, the discount resorts. Well, they got.
When I started going to Disney, and I didn't start going until like 93. I was older, and at the time it was the Dixie Landings, the Port Orleans, and the Royal Caribbean.
Okay.
And those were what was called the moderately priced hotels.
Right.
Those were $89 a night when I started going.
Wow.
Yeah, $89 a night. And that's why I started going. And I fell in love. The first time I went, I stayed at the Royal Caribbean, and it was a great hotel. But then the next time we went, I said, let's stay here. And I just fell in love with at the time it was Dixie Landings, and now it's Port Orleans Riverside. And then they've got the Port Orleans French Quarter, which was originally called the Port Orleans. And those two hotels are kind of connected, and it is amazing. I just love it. I love it. They got a water taxi that'll take you to downtown Disney.
Nice.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so
well, now at Pop Century, you can ride the Sky Car thing over to I think where does it go? I think it goes to I forget which park it goes to now. I think it goes to Kingdom? 2 of them. Magic Kingdom or the Hollywood one.
Yeah.
One, I don't know.
Yep.
Anyway, the Star Cruiser, we never got to go to that. I couldn't afford that. There's no way. We did go to Galaxy's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, that was during the pandemic, so had to do the whole mask thing, and oh my gosh, it sucked because the Millennium Falcon ride, it was broken the day we went.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I was so wanting to ride that and couldn't ride it. And then of course the what is the other big ride they got now?
Smuggler's Run.
What was it?
That's Falcon.
No, Smuggler's Run is Falcon.
The Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Rise of the Resistance. You basically had to win a lottery to get into that.
No kidding. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and we couldn't get tickets to it. So
the last time we went was in 2019, just before the pandemic. And we were able to ride Smuggler's Run on the Falcon. We did it twice. And one time I was the pilot, and one time I was the gunner. And at the time, the Rise of the Resistance was this close to opening. It wasn't quite finished yet. So I think it was going to be opening the following spring projected, but then the pandemic hit and, everything shut down. So they were able to.
So which did you prefer, being the pilot or the gunner?
Oh, the pilot. Absolutely.
Really?
The pilot.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't want to pilot the Falcon? Are you kidding me?
I've heard some people say that it's more fun to actually be the gunner than it is the pilot, but
shooting stuff is cool too. But I mean, just to sit where Chewie sits, and pull those silver levers down, it's like
hit it, Chewie.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you do that?
Of course.
Nice. Yeah, you do a very good Chewbacca. I can't do Chewbacca at all. Nice. All right. So apparently the Star Cruiser is closing.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's because people probably weren't staying at it because it's just too expensive.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy. That's
Yeah, so it lasted just a little over a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's horrible for Disney.
Yeah, I know. They outpriced themselves.
Yeah. Okay. So, you got anything for Geekdar?
For Geekdar, I do. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to Geekdar.
All right.
Well, you don't need that, Private. We're right here. Now, what is it? Now, what is it?
I'm having trouble with the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
That's not all he's lost.
Great Michael Winslow. I love Michael Winslow. He's so awesome. Oh,
You'll
you guys are doing a
to
police academy.
We just did our police academy. We skipped a week because Derek and Tito weren't available the last week.
Okay,
not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. So we didn't put out an episode this past week. But the week before, we started off our series of 4 movies, which we do every May because May the 4th we like to look at the bad 4th movie in a film franchise. So we picked Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol, as our first one of this month. So, we had quite a lot to say about Michael Winslow. Good and bad. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'll definitely have to listen to that.
Yeah.
Okay. I love Michael Winslow. All right. So I'll kick it off real quick. I only got a couple things for my Geekdar. One thing is I am a 2A guy, Second Amendment guy. I do like guns a lot. They are fun to shoot. And I take them very seriously. But I've discovered a video. I discovered this yesterday, actually. And it's a 9-year-old girl. She has her own YouTube video that she's helped with her dad. And it's called Autumn's Armory. And this kid is just fantastic. And I'm watching her going, dang, I wished I shot as good as you. She's pretty freaking amazing. But I watched several videos with her, and the one I liked the best was she has a 357 Magnum, which is a pretty nice sized gun, a beautiful shiny gun too. And boy, she's commenting on how beautiful this gun is too.
Yeah.
And man, this little 9-year-old girl is shooting a 357. Granted, she's shooting 38 rounds through it, but she's shooting it one-handed. I'm like,
damn,
holy cow, that is impressive.
That's a hand cannon, especially for a 9-year-old girl.
Yeah, I was shocked. I'm like, dang, this kid is good. So, and it's so funny. She blasted a watermelon.
Nice.
And she had drawn a face on the watermelon, and she said something about it being her friend. And I looked at my wife, and I go, if that's her friend, I'd hate to see her enemies.
No kidding, right?
Autumn's Armory. If you're into guns, check her out. She's amazing, and she's very respectful, and she's very good with her guns. She knows what she's doing. She treats everything with respect, and she's just a lot of fun. She's a cute kid. The other thing I have is Striper related, which is why I got my Striper hat on today. So, lead singer and co-founder of the band Striper, Michael Sweet, he has put out his 3rd album with George Lynch. George Lynch, formerly of Dokken,
and the Lynch Mob.
Yep. Amazing guitarist, one of the best out there, in my opinion. But yeah, the two of them have put out their 3rd album together, Sweet and Lynch, and what was the name of it? Oh crap! I had another album up. Sweet. Oh shoot. Sorry, I should have had this ready. There we go, Sweet and Lynch. And it's called Heart and Sacrifice. I loved their first album. It was called Only to Rise. It came out in 2015. Their second effort, I wasn't a huge fan of. It was called Unified, and it came out in 2017. And then the two of them got back together this year, and they created Heart and Sacrifice. And so far, I think Heart and Sacrifice is just as good as the first one. So if you're into 80s heavy metal, George Lynch, Michael Sweet, and Striper, check out Heart and Sacrifice.
All right.
So,
nice.
All right.
Well, I had one, and you kind of brought me into. I'm going to bring it around more to music as well. Ghost, which I'm wearing on my shirt right now, the band Ghost. They just put out an EP called Phantomime. It dropped yesterday, and it's all covers. I think it's like 5 or 6 songs, and the ones that I've heard so far, they do a cover of a Genesis song. And I think they just did an Iron Maiden song. They just dropped before the album dropped. And those two are awesome. And I can't remember the name of the Iron Maiden song right now. It's escaping me because I've had 1 cup of coffee so far. But yeah, but it's really good. I really like this band, and I think I'm seeing them this summer. My buddy had bought a pair of tickets that I work with, and he's like, "You want to go? I know you like the band." I'm like, "Yes, I do." So they're coming in late August, so I think we're going to go see them.
Are they metal? Speed
metal? They're from Sweden.
Okay.
They look a lot heavier than they are. They're more like I would consider them more like a pop metal.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I saw them with the same guy that I'm going to see them this time around. They were opening for Iron Maiden about 5 years ago or so.
Oh, nice.
And I said,
I love Maiden. So.
Yeah, me too. And I had never seen them live. And this kid's a true metalhead that I work with. And he's like, he knew all these bands. So I said, well, what's the story of this Ghost? He said, they're pretty good, but they're not heavy at all. And I'm like, all right. So we got there and we caught their act. And I'm like, these guys are good. These guys are really good. They were a lot more melodic than I thought it was going to be. So as soon as I got home, I started downloading some of their music onto my phone, So I had their 2 albums that they had put out at the time, and I really dug them. So I've been following them, yeah. But they're a little irreverent because the lead singer kind of dresses up like a satanic pope. Let me adjust my camera. I don't know if you can see my shirt. And I wore this one because it's kind of in today's thing, like the album cover for this one, he's kind of like a cyborg.
Okay, there you go.
But the backing band, you never see the backing band's faces because they all wear masks, and they refer to themselves as the Nameless Ghouls.
Nice.
So, yeah, but they just dropped a really check the band out. Check the band out. Ignore the iconography and stuff, but the songs are amazing. The songs are amazing. Very melodic. Very cool. And the second thing, or the main thing that I was going to have on my radar before you mentioned music, is Gareth Edwards just announced, or they dropped the teaser trailer that he's coming out with a movie in September called The Creator. Have you seen it? Have you seen the trailer?
No.
It looks really cool. Again, it's got to do with like robots and cyborgs and AI. It reminds me a lot of Steven Spielberg's AI. Remember that movie that he finished for Stanley Kubrick? It was Kubrick's last movie, and it had Haley Joel Osment in it and Jude Law.
Oh, you guys talked about this on your show.
Yeah. No, well, not this movie, but we did talk about AI, I think.
Right. Yeah. About AI. Yeah. Right.
And this has a lot of it looks a lot like that, but more dystopian.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It's hard. It's just a teaser trailer, but it got me excited to see it. So
now Gareth Edwards was the director for Rogue One.
Rogue One. Yes, he was. Yeah, and they have that. If you look, they have like a poster available online. It says from the director of Rogue One.
Nice.
Gareth Edwards presents The Creator, and it looks really good.
Cool.
It looks really, really good. So I'm excited to see that.
All right, let's bring Angie in because I think moderator Angie has something to share with us.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Morning.
All right, so I'm sure that you guys have seen Alita.
Yes.
So I had heard that it was a manga before it even came out, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but then I just forgot about it. And so when all the teaser trailers and all that kind of stuff for it came on, I was like, I really want to go see this because I heard it's a really, really good story. It was phenomenal. And I just finally now been able to afford to go and buy the book. So I have been reading this the past week. I'm actually almost finished with it.
Wow.
Cool. I'm not a big reader, but I read, I could not put that down. But yeah, it's a little gory. I don't like a lot of gore and stuff like that, so there's some things in there where there's a character that kills people and eats their brains or something. It's really crazy.
No,
it's insane.
Cool.
And
that's a movie.
It's insane. But it's a really, like, the story is really, really good. So far, I still kind of like the movie better, but that's because I saw the movie first. But so far, it's really, really good, and it dives deep into her character. And so I don't know. I really liked it. But yeah, I picked this up last weekend, and I've been like, and I mean, the artwork. So the guy who created it, he wanted to keep it as true to its original form as possible.
So you read it right to left.
Yeah. And just some of the way he does the story and stuff like that is really cool. And they have like so I'll show you like this is the artwork. And nice. And I like it because he said he made sure to put in like the pows and the bangs and stuff like that because it'd be really cool. But like at one point, like there's sometimes where you'll see like it in color and then I'll go back to it is so cool. Like the artwork is phenomenal. But for those that don't know anything about this, so I'm going to butcher his name, just saying it. Yukito Kishiro. And then there's an introduction by Brendan Fletcher, if you guys know who that is. But yeah, like it's so beautifully well done, and like you could see on there like how they have all the like the bang and the whatever, and then they have at some point they stick to a lot of the like Japanese words and stuff, and they'll have on the bottom. I don't know if I can find it right now, but they have where they will explain like this is what this means and whatever But it's so well done, like just every bit of the artwork. I'm trying to find the one. So like, this is so cool.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
nice.
Like it's definitely becoming my favorite manga.
Awesome.
Like I've read a handful, because I'm a noob and so I'm just getting into all this kind of stuff. But it's definitely my favorite. Like I have a feeling this is going to be like my manga that I'm like, So it's cool. Really, really good. But that's volume 1. So, I'm like, okay, here we go. I know, Mike, you're talking about like before on, having all, for your comics and stuff and being like, your pool and this is going to be my this and dice because I'm a huge D&D nerd. Yep. But yeah. So, but yeah, that's what was on my geeker.
Yeah, I think manga can get pretty expensive too.
Yeah, they can. My daughter liked a few of them. I forget which ones I was buying for, but I'm like, oh my god, there's like 20 volumes of this thing.
Holy cow.
And they're like novel thick,
Right? Yeah. They're a little more
than quite expensive. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, it's funny because I started off with doing Fruits Basket, and then I was like, I gotta take a break on that. It's getting expensive, and then I switched from that to My Hero Academia, and then
that's
for whatever reason I put that down because I got busy with life. Yeah, and now I'm to this, and I'm like, oh man,
my daughter loves My Hero Academia.
So yeah,
I know nothing of hardly any manga, so other than what Megan tells me.
Yeah.
I do know it's weird looking at the books because, like you said, Brian, it goes backwards.
Yeah.
To our
you instinctively want to read it from left to right.
Yeah.
Because that's back. So you got to read it from this way. So it's hilarious when it's sitting there. You think that it's like,
oh, look, I'm almost done.
You're like, oh, cool. And then you're like, oh, wait. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know. My brain doesn't work right for that.
Yeah. You got to train it a little bit.
Yeah. And you instinctively want to read it this way. And like, there's a couple times where I'd be reading the panels and I'd like accidentally go here and then I'd read this and I'm like, oh, Wait, that was out of order. And then I'd have to reread it. I think. So yeah, it definitely is a process, but I don't know. I really like it. I will say, I don't know what you guys' view is, but I will say I kind of like mangas more than I like the traditional comic books. I don't know. I didn't think I would, and I'm like, I kind of like it. It's
Yeah, well, I don't have a view. I haven't read a lot of manga myself. I mean, I bought stuff for my daughter. She's into manga. But as far as reading it myself, I can only go by traditional comics. So
right.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. I've been following comics since I was a kid. So,
Mm-hmm.
And see, I probably would have a different view if I grew up reading comics.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And like, I'm wanting to get into the X-Men because growing up, I watched the cartoon.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So I was a huge, like, I actually bought, next week when I come on, I will have to show you guys my purse that I got. I actually bought at the local comic book store, the X-Men purse.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a huge X-Men nerd. And so, like, I want to get into the actual comics instead of just like, you know, since I've seen the cartoon 50 million times and all the movies. But yeah, other than that, like, I don't know, like I'm starting to, I really like that. I really like how this is laid out and the story's really good. The dynamic, like in the movie, you see where, I totally just blanked on the, Ido. So you see his dynamic with Alita and how he created her because of his daughter and all this stuff, which is kind of like that in here. But he has this whole like darker side in here versus the movie. And you're like, what the heck is going, like, it is messed up, like almost borderline, sociopath. And you're like, what? Like it's insane. Cause like in there, he's so innocent and he's just like, he helps people and all, not the manga. He's like,
no.
I kill to, you know, he's a warrior hunter because he has this insatiable thing for killing people. And so that's how he, without doing anything like illegal or just whatever. And it's like, okay.
Wow.
Nice.
So yeah, but
all right.
Anyways, yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Angie. Thank you for sharing that.
All right. You guys have a good show.
All right.
Bye, Angie.
All right. We ready to move on to the main event?
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
It's time for the main event.
All right. Introducing in the red corner, hailing from the DC universe, weighing in at a cutting edge of technology and armed with cybernetic enhancements, we have the half man, half machine techno wizard himself, the one, the only, the Cyborg, with the power to interface with any machine, superhuman strength, an array of weapons at his disposal. He's ready to unleash a digital onslaught on his opponents. And in the blue corner, representing the Marvel Universe, weighing in at a deadly combination of flesh and circuitry, we have the cybernetic soldier, the living weapon, the indomitable Deathlok. With his enhanced physical abilities, integrated weaponry, and a mind wired for tactical genius, he's a force to be reckoned with in any battlefield. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a clash of cybernetic titans as these two powerhouses go head-to-head battle that will redefine the limits of human-machine hybrids. It's a showdown for the ages as Cyborg takes on Deathlok in a fight that will push their technological prowess to the limit. Who will emerge victorious? Stay tuned as we break down their abilities and unleash them in the ultimate battle of metal and flesh. All right, that's what we had. Thank you.
I almost said when you were reading the Cyborg breakdown, I was like, you know, you could almost use the same paragraph for both of them.
Yeah, you practically can. I have to admit, I had a little help with ChatGTP with that. I did do some homework using ChatGTP, so I kind of cheated, but I thought it broke them down pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I thought we'd read off a little bit on each character. So Deathlok, his real name is Luther Manning. His occupation is cyborg or super soldier. His base of operation is mobile. His height is 6'4", 4 inches. He weighs 395 pounds. His eyes are red and his hair is gray or brown. And his first appearance was Astonishing Tales number 25 in August of 1974.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me get the Cyborgs out. These books are too big to have both out at the same time.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh,
You're
they're
using the Marvel Encyclopedia, the
yeah.
That's what I've got here too.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Gorgeous books too.
Oh, they are. They absolutely are.
All right. So Cyborg, his debut was DC Comics Presents Volume 1, number 26, October of 1980. His base of operation is Detroit. His real name is Victor Stone. He is 6'5" and he weighs 385 pounds. They're about the same height and weight. His eyes are brown. His hair is black. Powers and abilities. Genius level IQ. Implants give him massively enhanced strength, armored chassis, and promethium impregnated flesh. Try saying that a couple times fast.
Right?
Provides
a tongue twister for you.
Yeah, no kidding. Provides superb damage resistance, sensors, and onboard processors. Intercept signals and hack systems remotely. Can create boom tubes and transport. Can fly using boot jets. Arms can be reconfigured into energy and projectile weapons. His allies are Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, The Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz, and Azrael Starfire. So we might as well say the Justice League. His enemies are Darkseid, Crime Syndicate, Grid, Malware, and Anomaly.
You mean the Teen Titans, right? You said Justice League? Yeah.
Well, we'll get into that.
Okay. All right.
And it says here affiliations, Justice League and Justice League Odyssey, and then I would say Titans and Teen Titans also. So, yeah, Cyborg, they've kind of redefined Cyborg over the last decade, I'd say. And they've actually made him one of the founding members of the Justice League. I prefer to think of him more as a Titan, though, because that's where I was introduced to him.
Same here.
Yeah, I was introduced to him in that 1980 Teen Titans #1 issue, and I fell in love with the character. I thought he was incredible, you know, and he became very popular, so they decided to graduate him from the Titans over to the Justice League. So I like him as a Justice League member. Don't get me wrong, but I look at him as a Titan. To me, he'll always be a Titan.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so let's get into this a little bit.
Booyah!
Booyah! Yes. I don't know if Deathlok has a saying or not.
I don't know. He's definitely not in any cartoons, that's for sure. So,
yeah, he's not quite up on the A list of
no
characters.
Yeah, and he kind of resides in the C or D list.
Yeah,
I would say as far as like rankings go.
Actually, I had forgotten about Deathlok until you mentioned him because we did that
with
last
the Iron Man versus Cyborg a couple of months back.
Right.
Yeah.
So you brought him up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Deathlok! I forgot all about Deathlok."
Yeah.
And then I'm looking into him, and I'm like, he's just not that prominent.
He's really not. He's really not. And there have been quite a few people to take up the mantle of Deathlok over the years. You mentioned Luther Manning.
Right.
He was the first one.
Right.
So maybe it's not a fair fight with Luther because he's kind of like the prototype. You know, I think as they progress, they get stronger and stronger. Their abilities are enhanced. So,
well, I saw one video this morning where they basically in the late 90s, I think it was, they pretty much turned him completely into an android.
Okay.
So he's no longer human at all.
Serious.
And then they pretty much destroyed him. And I think it was just to write off the character at that point.
Oh, wow.
But he has appeared since then. He's appeared in Captain America comics.
Oh, yeah. He's mostly teamed up, and I think that's where I first discovered him. He was teamed up with somebody.
Right.
Back in the early 90s.
He's teamed up with Captain America. He's teamed up with Wolverine before, which actually that's not a bad pairing.
No, it's not. Nope, not at all.
Cap's kind of cool because if you think about it, they're kind of opposite of each other.
Yeah.
They're both super soldiers, but Cap is kind of like the program the successful version of the program, and Deathlok is like the failed version of the program.
A little bit, yeah. Cap is more like the ideal soldier,
right? Yeah.
Where Deathlok is like the AWOL kind of. I'm a mercenary.
Yeah,
exactly. More kind of super soldier.
Exactly. He also kind of has a background very similar to Spawn in a way.
Yeah,
because he's wrote off as dead.
Yes.
And then he comes back as this cybernetic, and all his loved ones and everybody thinks he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his wife gets remarried.
Probably, yeah.
And which is very similar to the Spawn story. Spawn, same thing happens to him. Everyone thinks he's dead. Well, technically, Spawn was dead. He makes a deal with the devil to come back. You know, so it has a similar feel to that. It also has a similar feel to RoboCop.
Right.
He's almost identical to RoboCop.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it until this morning, but apparently Megadeth, since we kind of got into this music theme, Steven's not here, so I'm going on music stuff.
Let's do it. Let's take a musical journey with Steven and Mike.
Right. Well, this morning is with Mike and Brien. So on Megadeth's 1992 album Countdown to Extinction, they have a song called Psychotron, and it's really about Deathlok.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the lyrics and everything, the lyrics all fit Deathlok, and it's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And now I'm going to be like, oh, now I got to listen to this song more.
Yeah. Well, it was on Adult Swim on the Cartoon Network. Didn't they have that cartoon Metaloca? Oh, Jesus, I can't speak. I should have had that second cup of coffee. Metalocalypse.
Metalocalypse.
And they had I think the fictional band was called Death Clock.
Oh wow!
I don't know.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, but every time I saw it, I don't think it's connected at all. But it just reminded me of Deathlock every time I saw it. Yeah. Of course.
So those were a couple interesting things that I found about Deathlok. So, all right, let's get into this a little bit. So we are actually going to score each character in different attributes. So I have a score sheet, and my score sheet has strength, durability, agility, weapons and gadgets, special abilities, and tactical skills. And we're going to break down each one of those and give each character their own score for each ability. And at the end, we'll add it up, and the one with the most points is the ultimate winner of this battle.
Okay.
So we'll start with Cyborg. In my notes, I have Cyborg strengths as technological superiority. Cyborg possesses highly advanced cybernetic enhancements that give him access to an array of powerful abilities and weapons. Superhuman strength. Cyborg's cybernetic body grants him immense strength, allowing him to lift heavy objects and overpower opponents. Enhanced durability. With his cybernetic enhancements, Cyborg has enhanced durability, making him resistant to physical damage. Technopathic abilities. Cyborg can... Oh, shoot. I thought I had this broken down. Anyway, I'll just finish with that. Technopathic abilities. Cyborg can interface and communicate with various forms of technology, allowing him to manipulate and control machines. Adaptive systems. Cyborg's body is capable of adapting and upgrading itself, granting him versatility in different situations. So then we have Deathlok. His strengths are superhuman strength. Deathlok possesses enhanced strength that surpasses normal human limits, allowing him to overpower his opponents. Cybernetic enhancements. Deathlok's cybernetic implants enhancements give him increased speed, agility, and reflexes. Regenerative healing. Cyborg has a powerful healing factor that allows him to recover from injuries at an accelerated rate. Now, I didn't know that about
me either. That really makes him go toe-to-toe with Wolverine.
Right. Yes. That's why I said he's a decent matchup with Wolverine, too. Let's see. Weaponry and gadgets. Deathlok is equipped with a variety of integrated weapons and gadgets, including energy blasters and retractable blades. He also has a 9-inch knife that is magnetically stuck to his leg.
Yeah.
I love that. That is so. Tactical mind. Deathlok possesses exceptional tactical skills and strategic thinking, making him a formidable combat in battle. So, on strength, what do we want to? Now we'll go one. We'll go from 1 to 10.
Okay.
1 being the weakest, 10 being the strongest.
Makes sense.
On each one of these. So they could ultimately have a score of 60 by the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what do we think Cyborg's strength would be? I personally think Cyborg would be about an 8. I
was thinking the same thing. I would give him about an 8.
He's not Superman strength.
No.
But
no,
he's
not.
definitely he could probably match Superman closely, but definitely couldn't take Superman out. So and Superman, I think, his strength ability we would have to put on a 10. So I would grade him probably an 8 on strength. Deathlok. I don't really know his strength as much.
I don't either, but from what I read, he doesn't seem to be as strong as Cyborg.
Okay.
And especially if, like I said, we're starting with the Luthor version
right.
of him, where he's kind of the proto Deathlok.
Gotcha.
I would give him about a 6, maybe 6.5.
All right. Yeah, let's go with 6.5. All right. So strength will give him 6. Deathlok 6.5. Cyborg will give an 8. Durability. Durability refers to the character's ability to sustain physical damage and recover from it. Now, reading that, being the fact that Deathlok actually has a healing factor, I think his durability goes up higher than Cyborg's.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I would put him, as far as durability, either an 8 or a 9. I mean, I don't think we could give him a 9. I don't think we could give him a 10 because
I don't think so. No,
10
when you think 10, that would be Wolverine
or Deadpool.
Well, yeah, Wolverine. Well, that's true.
I try
not to acknowledge Rob Liefeld, and
yeah,
he basically stole everything from everybody else. So
well, yeah, he stole Deadpool from Deathstroke, my favorites.
Yep. And he gave him everybody else's powers. So no, okay. Let's stick with Wolverine. Wolverine was the original, the best, the never beaten.
We're gonna have to make a list of these who we put as the highest. Yeah, I gotta remember to do that. So all right, so durability. We said what then?
For Deathlok. You're starting with Deathlok for durability. Let's give him a 7.
7. Okay. And he's higher than Cyborg because of the healing factor. So I say 6 on Cyborg.
That tracks.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, Cyborg's no slack.
Yeah. Because if we're like we use for strength and we say like Superman is the 10, then Wolverine would be the 10 for durability.
Right. Perfect. I like how we're coming up with someone to
Yep. Compare our scale to.
Right. All right. So agility refers to the character's speed, reflexes, and overall mobility. Ooh, I think that's tough.
Well, based on what you said, I think I'm going to have to go with Cyborg because I don't think Deathlok can fly.
Good point.
And I don't think Deathlok. Well, obviously, I know Deathlok can't produce boom tubes where he can basically teleport to anywhere in an instant.
Now, I did read that he can do some sort of time travel, though.
Yeah,
but boom tubes are a little different than
they are. Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think agility we have to give to Cyborg.
Yeah, especially just based on the flying thing.
Right.
I mean, they're both enhanced cybernetically, so I mean they can both move like super fast, and get out of each other's way. But I mean, when you add the ability to fly into it, that just puts them on a whole other level. So I think advantage Cyborg.
Okay. So maybe an 8 for
Yeah.
Cyborg. Okay.
Yeah.
And then 7 for Deathlok.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Let's give him a 7.
All right.
Okay. We're gonna make this pretty close. So I don't. Our top agility, I think we have to go again with Superman on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because again, he's the strongest. He's
He can almost match the Flash for speed, and he can fly. So yeah, Superman would be
he'd be the ultimate on that.
Yes, indeed.
All right, one of my favorites, weapons and gadgets. Refers to the character's proficiency in using weapons and gadgets, as well as the quality and versatility of their equipment. Now, when we're talking tops on weapons and gadgets, I think we have to go back. Well, I mean, for our top, top,
yeah. What,
I think
Punisher?
Ken has Batman, or on the Marvel side, Punisher.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, do we want to go even further? Who could we go even further? Because I mean, with Cyborg, he can create like energy weapons.
That's true. That's true.
Know, and turn his arms into almost anything he wants. You know, and as cool as a 9-inch knife, you know, magnetically strapped to your leg is, it's no match for that.
Well, true.
And I know he does have other weapons too. But.
Oh, Deathlok he's got multiple weapons.
Yeah.
But his main weapons is his one pistol that he uses, which is like an energy blast pistol or something, and then the knife. So, yeah, I think we have to give weapons to Cyborg, and I honestly think we got to go 10 on Cyborg.
Yeah, let's do
it. I mean, just considering the fact that his arms can actually change into sonic.
Yeah, sonic cannons, energy weapons, anything he wants. You know, even a blade if he wants.
And then Deathlok, I think we're going 8 on.
Yeah, I mean, his weapons definitely aren't as potent, but he does have the proficiency in to use what he does have at hand. So
I mean, his skills are amazing.
Yeah,
so, but yeah, okay. So weapons, we'll give an 8. All right. Next is special abilities. Refers to the character's unique powers and abilities that set them apart from other characters. And then in here, I was reading, let's see, special abilities.
Well, for Cyborg, I think it would have to be the boom tube.
Yeah, I agree. Boom tube, and apparently, let's see. Yeah, I would say boom tube, and the fact that Cyborg can connect to any machine whatsoever, you know,
and interface with it and manipulate it.
Now, Deathlok, he has technopathy. One of Cyborg's, or wait a minute. Sorry. No, that's actually okay. Here's their special abilities. Cyborg's is technopathy. One of Cyborg's notable special abilities is his technopathy, which allows him to interface and communicate with various forms of technology. That's what we were referring to. And cybernetic adaptations. His cybernetic body parts possess adaptive systems that allow him to upgrade his modifier. So that's what we were talking about with like the arms can change into weapons and such. Deathlok, he has the regenerative healing factor, and he has cybernetic enhancements, but they both have cybernetic enhancements. So I think special abilities, we have to go Cyborg on that one.
Agreed.
And I say 9 for Cyborg.
Yeah.
And I would say 7 for Deathlok. What do you think?
That's what I was going to say too.
All right. And technical
on this one, Deathlok definitely falls way shorter than.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, at least 2 notches down.
You know, the more I look at this, and Deathlok doesn't compare to Cyborg.
No. Other than the fact that they are very similar, you know, looking. You know, they both have half of their head is exposed. The other half is cybernetic with a red eye.
With the red eye.
You know,
I absolutely love the red eye.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one is technical skills, which refers to the character's ability to strategize and think on their feet in combat situations. Wow. Oh man, that's tough too. You know, part of me wants to, out of pity, give Deathlok this one.
A pity point. Nice.
Yeah, a pity point. Because, I mean, he is a soldier, you know, and he's bred as a soldier.
Right.
So I would think he would be up on different combatant technical aspects. So I think we give this one to Deathlok.
Okay.
I mean, that's my opinion. What do you think?
I agreed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Throw him a pity point.
Pity point. Now, I mean, as far as tactical skills, I think is the highest level. We have to go Marvel. We have to go Captain America, and DC. I think we go Deathstroke for that.
Okay.
Those would be our 10s to compare to. So I don't think he would be quite as high as Cap and quite as high as Deathstroke. So I say we go an 8 for his tactical skills. What do you think?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. All right. And then Cyborg, if we're giving it to Deathlok, I think we got to go a 7 on Cyborg.
Sure.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah. Because, I mean, obviously, he didn't start off as a soldier, but he learned along the way.
Right.
You know, he's had more of a team affiliation where Deathlok is pretty solitary. You know, he's a solo character for the most part. But, you know, when you put somebody like that in a team like Cyborg is, he's going to learn from the people around him.
Sorry, I'm doing math here.
Yeah, I can see that. the wheels are turning. Is that smoke I see on your screen there?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, and got the total for Cyborg. Now we'll get Deathlok's total. 5
Carry the 1.
I'm cheating. I'm using a calculator. It's way too early to do math in my head.
I'm just lucky I remember what time zone I'm in. Seriously, I started getting ready earlier, and I'm like, oh my god, I've only got 15 minutes, but it was like 8:45 here, which means it was like 8:45 your
right.
Oh, okay, no, I've still got an hour.
That's right, you are ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so is Steven. He's ahead of me too. So we go through this all the time. It's like, wait a minute, that's your time? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So for the ultimate showdown, the overall total points. I'll start with Deathlok. We gave Deathlok a strength of 6.5, a durability of 7, agility of 7, weapons and gadgets of 8, special abilities 7, and tactical skills 8. And that comes to a grand total of 43.5 for Deathlok. Now, I would say that Deathlok is no slouch. You know, he is a formidable opponent. Let's just put it that way. Cyborg, we gave him on strength an 8, durability 6, agility 8, weapons and gadgets 10, special abilities 9, and tactical skill we gave him a 7. And he comes out to an ultimate score of 48.
Okay.
So yeah, he wins by 6.5 points.
Yeah. All right then.
I'd say Cyborg is our ultimate winner in this contest.
I had a feeling it was going to turn out that way.
You know, I did too, but I still thought there would be a fun matchup. I like this idea of those two.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd definitely like to see somebody make that happen.
Definitely. Oh, that'd be so cool to have do a DC versus Marvel and put them against each other and see what the writers come up with, and if it goes along with our DC and Marvel, if you're listening.
DC and Marvel, friends of the show.
Right. Friends of the show. Another reference back to your show. I did enjoy that, by the way. That was fun. Yeah, definitely. Friends of the show. So I say Cyborg is our ultimate winner here.
Agreed.
Cyborg wins. Awesome.
Agreed. Again.
And in the words of Cyborg, booyah.
Booyah.
I don't know if Deathstroke has a catchphrase.
I don't think he does.
If
he does, I don't know it.
Yeah, I don't either. But I've read very little of Deathlok.
Same here. like I said, he's kind of like a C-lister or below character, you know.
Right.
He popped up in a couple of books. I think he had his own series for a very short run. It might have been even a mini series. But for the most part, he shows up in like, Marvel 2-in-1, or he'll pop up in somebody else's book.
Oh, he's also fought with Thing before too.
Yes, he has. Yeah. I think that was the 2-in-1.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that was the 2-in-1.
Yeah.
I'll have to get Steven's got to renew our subscription for Marvel, and once he does that,
yeah.
I mean, he's got to renew his subscription.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't borrow that at all.
No, not at all. It's not like we say on our show when we have to watch something. We don't use Derek's Voodoo account at all.
Right.
None of us have his password. It's all just rumors and conjecture.
Right. Yeah. You guys all go to his house and watch it.
No, we come here. We come here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And like I said, we do not have Derek's password. Yeah. We do not.
I do not have Steven's password. Just like Steven does not have my password for DC.
See? Like I said, it's all research for the podcast.
That's right. That's exactly it. It's for the podcast.
It's the company account.
Right. Yeah. I love how we get around this.
See that? Great. Loopholes. I should have been a lawyer.
But instead you're a podcaster.
That's right.
I mean, you make so much more money as a podcaster than
yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Right. Well, speaking of not making much money.
Yeah.
You can
bring up the sponsors.
Please go check out Audible. Audible is a sponsor of Two Geeks and a Microphone. Thank you, Megan or Angie, whichever one of you that got that up there for me. You can get an Audible trial. And if you put in the 2 Geeks afterwards, and that is spelled out 2, not the number 2.
Yeah, as we always have to say on ours because we use the number.
Right. Yeah. I always love that when you guys go, and
number 3.
That's great. With us, normally it's the number 2, but we couldn't do the number 2 for Audible. So, go get your free Audible trial. You can get amazing audio books. You can get Heir to the Empire, which we just covered Heir to the Empire, and we actually used the audio books. Stephen used his Audible account for that. And you can get podcasts on Audible too, such as Geeks and a Microphone, and as 3 Geeky Dads.
Yes, we are.
So you can get either one of us over there. So check
if you're into podcasts and if you're listening to us right now, you pretty much are. Head on over to Audible. You'll be able to find all of our shows.
Excellent. Wow, spoken like a real pro there.
I can be hired out if you want me to do your intros and outros.
we might look into that. We might have to look into that. Also, just want to let everyone know that our website is back up and running. Stephen has been working hard this past week on our website. We had been off for about 3 weeks, I think. So you can get back to us. You can get everything, all 2 Geeks over there. You can get to our Ko-fi page, where if you want to throw us a couple of bucks and buy us a coffee on Ko-fi, that would be great. That all goes to paying for my Lamborghini. I mean, paying for the podcast.
Action figures.
Yeah. I do have a 3 3/4 Batman from the new Flash movie.
I thought he had a hole in him at first, but it's reflecting off of your green screen.
Yeah.
You broke it already.
Deathstroke shot a hole through him.
That's why we can't have nice things, Mike.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. So, yeah. If you can throw us a few bucks, we'd really appreciate that. It'd be amazing. And as always, go and like and like and subscribe to us on Facebook. I'm looking for that now. See, Steven does most of this stuff, and then I get thrown off when I'm doing it by myself.
And as I always say on our show, wherever podcasts are available, rate and review, because that really helps out.
Yes.
Not only does it help the show, but it helps others to find the show when they're searching. So the most important thing is to rate and review. word of mouth is always the best. If you like the show, we on our podcast love listening to you guys. We tell our friends. Word of mouth is the best. Tell your friends if you like it. Go up onto the roof. Wake the neighbors. Annoy your friends and family. Tell them to check out Two Geeks and a Microphone. It is well worth it.
Thank you, Brian. I couldn't have said it better myself. And last, of course, not least, make sure and check us out on YouTube. We are live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. That is Central Standard Time. You do the math on the rest. Yes, Brian, I am a Midwesterner.
Yes, you are.
I do live in the flyover states that you are afraid of. Don't be afraid of us.
No. We are not afraid at all. It was all in jest, all in good fun. You know that.
I know
love
that.
you guys, and I love the Midwest.
So do I. I do too.
I'll tell you one of my things, and you can tell my wife. And one of the things that I like to go down the rabbit hole on is I look at videos of trains like Amtrak because I want to go cross country by train.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and Chicago is the major hub for Amtrak, and from there everything branches out. But you can get the train in either Boston or New York and head to Chicago, and from there you can go even further west.
Oh, that would be neat.
And I have looked at a ton of videos about doing this, and one of these days, years, whatever, I'm going to pull the trigger and do it.
Oh man, you could do a whole series. Brian travels by train.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to do that, but if I'm out that way, I'm definitely going to look you guys up.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Let me know. That'd be awesome. All right. So, with that said, I have Mr. Brien Ramsey of the Three Geeky Dads. He is here with us today, and
glad to be here. Thanks, Mike.
I appreciate this. The whole versus thing. That all came up, and I immediately thought of you because you're a comic book fan like me, and I know you like to compare these characters and such. And actually, the Deathlok and Cyborg whole idea came from you. That was your brainchild there. But we got more in the works.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
if you guys, don't let it end there.
Yeah, if you guys like this, we've got an epic speedster one coming up with the Flash versus Quicksilver, and I'm hoping Mr. Brien Ramsey can come back and join us for that.
I would love to. Just ask.
Awesome.
Say the word.
Oh, okay, I'm asking.
I will clear my schedule.
All right, excellent. We'll put out the date for that a little bit later.
Perfect.
And last but not least, Stephen and I will not be live next. Well, we'll be alive, but we just won't be live on YouTube. Well, I hope
turned into cyborgs as we speak.
Right. Hopefully, I'm Cyborg and he's Deathlok. Anyway,
it's Mecha Mike and Cyborg Steve.
I like it. That's good. That's good. No, but next week we will not be live on YouTube. We will be showing one of our classic sci-fis from our Ko-fi only. So you can check that out. If you like that, you can get other Ko-fi only specials on the Ko-fi site. So if you subscribe to us, but we will be doing Star Trek Wrath of Khan next week. Khan, had to get that in there. One of my favorite parts of that movie.
Yeah, absolutely. That was awesome. Now that was the first one that you guys did, wasn't it? For Ko-fi, was that your first exclusive?
No, I remember. Our first was Logan's Run, actually.
You're right. That was a Megan pick.
Yes. Well, yeah, it was influenced by me a little bit.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but Megan actually bought the book.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember hearing that.
And because she was like, "Dad, is there a book of this?" I'm like, "I have no." Oh, wow!
It was a trilogy of books.
Yeah.
I
was like, I'm sure it is. So she went and found the book, and I have it right here. It's by William F. Nolan and George Clayton Johnson. And she read the book, and she gives her breakdown of the book versus the movie, and yeah, that was a really good one. So. But that's only available on Ko-fi.
So make a donation. Check out the exclusive content.
And we got a few other fun ones. you guys touched on some of the subjects. I was like, oh, I wanted to do that one for Kofi. Like, man, I don't know if I want to now. They did it.
Do it. I'm sure you guys have your own, views and opinions. So I mean,
that's true.
Yeah, don't do it just because we did it. Like I say, the podcasting playing field it's so crowded. I mean, you can't not have crossovers and whatnot. Everybody's talking about the same thing at the same time, especially when like something hot comes out. Everybody wants to jump on Guardians of the Galaxy. Everybody wants to jump on the latest Star Wars. Like the Mandalorian. So you've got all kinds of stuff out there where people bring up the same thing. So don't be afraid.
And speaking of that, we're going to be jumping on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in a couple weeks too. So there is that. And Steven and I are going to break down the Berserker comic series too. So
nice, the Keanu Reeves series.
Yes,
yeah. I was hearing you guys talk about that last week.
Yeah, I've read the first 4 issues of it.
Of the 6 that are out, right?
Yeah. Oh, they're all the whole series is done now.
Oh, it's just a miniseries.
Well, yeah, it's like I think it's an 8-parter.
Oh, okay. All
something
right.
Like that. But I hear that they're probably going to do a second run or a second series of it. And rumor has it they're working on a film too. So
that would be cool.
Dude, it's Keanu Reeves. You got to have fun, right?
Yep.
I mean, it'll be amazing. So
John Wick is probably done for a while. So
yeah, he can take a break from John Wick.
Yeah.
And he can be Berserker and
right, and Constantine if that's still.
Yeah. Well, I think Constantine 2 is supposed to happen supposedly. So
well, we'll see with this writer's strike that how that affects everything because that's really putting a damper on things right now.
Yep. All right. With that said, any last words about Cyborg and Deathlok that you'd like to
just not them in specifically, but in general, go out and support your local comic book shop. These characters, all of them are probably in the back bins. Check them out. Check out the new stuff. Support your local comic book shop because there's chances are they're great guys and they're very knowledgeable. They'll help you out if you're looking for something specific, and even if you're just looking for something in general, they'll point you in the way.
Agreed.
So, yeah. Check them out. All these characters live there, so please visit them. They're your friends.
Well said, Mr. Brien. All right. With that said, I guess over and out and
booyah!
Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,